Hey fellas, Nikk here. We're nearing the end of the year, which means I also have to pay my bills now, for real this time. Actually, final notice, seriously. Thankfully, I have my piggy bank this whole time on the dresser, so thankfully I should have all of my stuff in here. So let's see what I have saved. I gotta make some calls.
What do you do when you want to buy a game but have no money in the piggy bank you left on your dresser for the past 8 months?
Give up!
Demos are great because instead of a company taking my $60 so I can say,
This game fucking stinks.
now I can try the game, see if it fucking stinks, and then I can use that $60 on 50 bounty paper towel rolls. Demos are important to me. They've been a big part of my life growing up.
That sounds depressing when I say it out loud, but I swear I'm telling the truth.
My PlayStation account has hundreds of games on it, mostly because over the years I've tried so many games. But in recent years, demos seem like they're on a bit of a decline. They just don't get made as much. It feels like companies want people to buy first and ask questions later, and that really stinks. A few years ago, I looked at a handful of demos on the PS4. Now, what do they have in common?
The letter E?
As we approach the end of the year, I like to revisit PS4 demos with a new twist to it, by playing every PS4 demo from this year.
My job let me go. I need to kill time somehow.
What I did is I downloaded every demo from the PS4 this year. I played for the first 10 to 15 minutes and noted my impressions of it. Because of just how many demos there are, I'm gonna try and run through these quickly while also giving them a fair chance. This means games with really long intros,
like every RPG on this list,
are being skipped. I'm not really focusing on stories much anyway. I'd rather judge games off their gameplay at the start. If the game's demo got me hooked quickly, then you're going up the top. By the way, I'm ranking the demos.
So, let's go. Let's play every single demo for PS4 in 2023.
First up, One Piece Odyssey.
I don't want to do this anymore.
A turn-based RPG based off an anime I know nothing about. I've been foaming at the mouth to play something like this. The art style looks detailed and the models are pretty on point, but man, these animations feel wooden. Did they learn nothing from Jump Force? All the animations feel so lifeless, the battles just feel empty, and the world you walk in is not that fun to traverse. This game gets a certified from me. Backbeat is like a rhythm and puzzle game where you have different band members that move in different ways. There's Watts the bass, Toshi the guitar, and Josh the badass that keeps running into shit.
just kidding, he has a broken leg.
You have to move together to try and have all your music line up. What makes it unique is that everyone moves at different distances. I had fun with this game, but I am really bad at it. This is going above One Piece Odyssey. Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line is a Final Fantasy rhythm/fighting game. You fight battles by playing charts of their music. This art style reads a cheap mobile game, which I really hate, but the controls are a bit unique. There are 2 types of notes, ones you hit with control sticks and ones you hit with buttons. All buttons. D-pad, face buttons, and the triggers can hit these red notes. Any of them can do it, I don't know why. The early game is way too easy for me personally. That's all this demo is, so I'll put it right in the middle. Void Terrarium 2 is about getting resources from this world and carrying over to this kid. Take care of her by getting 4 types of materials as this robot dog. It's a lot of fighting enemies in this part, and when you die, you come back to the terrarium thing with all your stuff that you collected, converted into natural resources that you can use. And let me just be honest, this art style looks so cool. I don't know what it is, but I just really like how the terrarium looks. This one is going at the top because I really liked it. Octopath Traveler 2 is another RPG, but it's one of those RPGs that has really good lighting that Square Enix keeps making. Big shocker here, but I don't like turn-based RPGs.
How could I?
And on top of that, the amount of time for first spinning on each demo is too short to really get into the meat of these games. However, I will be giving extra points for how big this game is. There's like a million different characters with their own stories you can play as. Also, the game is still really pretty. Overall, I'm putting it above One Piece Odyssey. Grim Grimoire Once More is a remaster of a PS2 game from 2007. I don't really know how to describe what it is I'm playing, but it was pretty fun. It's all about elves and fairies who have to gather resources to fight enemies. Maybe I'll give it another shot at some point in the future, but right now, it is going above Octopath Traveler.
These next 2 games are really bloody and gory, so like skip that now if you don't like doing that.
Resident Evil 4 Remake is a remake of Resident Evil 4.
Gaming really is full of surprises.
This game, at least for my 2013 PS4, is running very well. Yeah, I found a bunch of examples of textures that weren't right, but for a console whose successor was made 3 years ago, I wasn't expecting insane optimizations. It plays like RE4, being a fun yet tense third-person shooter, with just enough ammo to keep it tense. I like when you shoot someone in the face and then you can do a crazy melee attack on them. And when Chainsaw Man showed up, it was fucking terrifying. Also, a lot of sounds play through the controller, which is really cool. This is going under Void Terrarium 2, so simply because I've only been playing for around 15 minutes or so, and I already know what's going on in RE4. Process of elimination sucks. No game, just story for the entire time. The skip to next choice button was basically broken for most of when I wanted to use it. And the story in between, I don't care. Some dude is murdering children for the sake of shock value, haha funny. It's detected as being predictable and nobody stops talking. Bottom, all the way down. I don't want to read a game, I want to play it. Vampire Slayer the Resurrection is a bit of a cool idea, but I wish the execution was better. You're either a vampire or the Slayer, and you gotta kill the other side. I think the AI was just really easy to defeat, and the controls felt really unfinished. It has motion controls to look around though. Does that make it any better?
I don't know, let me think about it. No.
Yeah, I didn't like these controls. They just feel off. It needs to be less sensitive by default. Also, it's too obvious to everyone else when you drop the controller. Overall, the game just feels too unfinished and empty to keep me coming back. I want more hectic chaos going on for a game named Vampire Slayer, you know. This is going above Grim Warrior. Plunder Panic is an arcade-like game about two pirate teams trying to win over each other. The diversity comes from all the ways you can win. Collect gold into your chest, kill the captain, shoot cannons, or row a boat full of explosives into their boat. All these can be counteracted too. You can steal the gold from the other chest, cut the wick of the cannon, or kill the people rowing the boat. It feels like a great party game, and I wasn't even playing people. I was playing bots in the campaign. This game is shooting up right to the top. I love it. Live Alive.
You know, I really needed another graphically intense pixel RPG.
This is actually a remake of an SNES game from '94 that never left Japan. But seeing two of these in the same year is kinda crazy. I think the graphics are a step up from Octopath 2 though. I picked this distant future storyline. I am apparently this new creation robot thing. I named myself Cheese 2.
Because let's be honest, they probably made a sequel in the future.
I apparently go and wake up some people. I just kinda do stuff around them for a while. It was a pretty slow start and I wasn't getting super invested. Some dudes started beating people up and that's when I got scared and turned it off. This is going above Octopath in my final ranking though. These hallways look pretty slick. Breaker's Collection is 2 emulators in Unity. I don't know why a compilation needed a demo. Most people already know what they're getting into buying a collection. There's a lot more fighting games for this year, and this isn't my thing. It's going under Octopath Traveler. Airport Hero Hanito is a game where you're an air traffic controller. I like this one. It's a really slow and boring process to, you know, play the game because you're an airport traffic controller. However, it's still very fun to try and strategize how to get all the airplanes to fit together while also making them not crash.
In other words, just don't kill people, which is great practice for me. I've only had like, what, 5 homicides this year?
This is under Vampire Slayer for me though. Street Fighter 6. Oh man, this is good. I rate this one highly for that campaign they got going on. It's really cool how you can just go to anyone and decide, yep, this is my homicides for today. The multiple control schemes are pretty great too. But this one where you can just have an AI pick your moves is the cheapest thing ever.
Button mashing with 4 buttons is the best. Button mashing with 1 button, get the f*** out of here.
I like the ability to have a modern and classic layout though, because it makes me feel less stupid when I'm playing. This goes just under Void Terrarium 2 for me. King of Fighters 15. Look, I can't tell the difference between fighting games, but Street Fighter 6 has a whole ass story mode, and this is just fighting, so I'm putting this under Airport Hero, okay? Brock the Investigator.
Get it? Get it? Get it?
One part action game, the other puzzle solving game. The art style looks really cheap though. I like how you can flip between both styles of the game at a moment's notice, but I'm not really interested in it from the start.
But how could I be mean to him? He's a fucking reptile!
It just bores me to a point where I just want to beat people up. This is going under Backbeat. Monster Menu the Scavenger's Cookbook is a weird RPG. I think it's trying to be about food, but the only thing that told me that was how much they reference food in the game. It's a cool idea to make it that you discover a bunch of complex recipes throughout the game, but I don't know if I want to really pair that well with RPG. This goes above Live Alive. Wait a minute, something's happening. I just got to the 2nd floor of the dungeon. Let's see what happens. 2D and Top D is really fun. You play in a 2D world and a top-down world at the same time. The puzzles with the two worlds crossing over are done really well, and the art style is super expressive and bouncy. It feels so satisfying to understand how to do a level. These wooden crates especially help because you can swap to Top D, freeze 2D in place, and put a platform under his feet while he's frozen.
Top 5 ways to sell Nikkalotz on a game. At number 5 we got wooden boxes.
So far, this is my favorite right now. I'm putting it all the way up there. Ghost Trick Phantom Detective is a game where you're a ghost trying to stop people from getting totally killed by possessing certain objects. What's not to love?
The color blue?
The puzzles are really smart, especially when you need to chain together objects. Maybe you have to lower one thing to get another thing to hit a button. Stuff like that pops up all over the demo, and I wanted to see more. Me personally, this goes under Street Fighter 6. Awaken feels like a very traditional tabletop strategy game. Now, uttering those words must mean that I have a one-way ticket to Nick doesn't like this game time, but for some reason, I really got into this one. It's just a simple-ass card game kind of thing, and it feels a little clunky with a controller, but you know what, that didn't detract from the fun for me. I felt way more involved in trying to strategize because the game is much more focused than the story, at least to me. I'm putting it above Ghost Trick. I don't know why, but I really did like playing this game out of all the other RPGs. Super Dark Deception. You're trying to get all these shards while these killer monkeys chase you down. Also, there's really good pixel art. Maybe I'm missing something, but I can't stand how...
Never mind.
I can't stand how when one of these guys gets you, there is no way to avoid them. You just gotta run around aimlessly and hope these guys don't corner you. And if they do, get the wheel ready. If there was a way to set up some kind of traps, that'd be cool. But in its current state, under Void Terrarium it goes. Pocket Bravery is a fighting game. I just beat Street Fighter 6. Anything that is in that game looks 10 times worse than it would have otherwise, so go under Breakers, you fucker. Space Boat. Look, I get it. The demo opens with a dev note saying this is made by one guy with no funding, and that kinda sucks to hear, but I also haven't judged any other game based on their dev teams, so why should I give this one a pass? I don't know, it just feels too clunky and confusing. It just feels like things are done as band-aid fixes. Having an NPC that gives you all the answers doesn't make the game not cryptic. I mean, just to do the first objective in the game, getting a board pass, you have to talk to Karen, who works at Regret's Travel. Okay, that's kind of clever. You talk to her, there's yellow text denoting this option will get me something, but it keeps adding yellow text that does nothing. Turns out I'm supposed to grab this ticket, turn it into vending machine doubloons, use it on the vending machine, get this card, talk to the jello creature, find out fucking Earl loves these cards, trade the card for a certificate, and only then you can go to the rich guy, give him the certificate, and only then will Karen open a door, and only then will a travel agent give you the boarding pass. If that sounds cryptic, that's okay because this character, like I said, will give you all the hints, but he makes fun of you and gives you a noob hat because he decided to be in a game that made no sense. Go under Grim Grimoire and think about what you've done. Sea of Stars, it's an RPG!
I thought I was done with these things!
RPGs are like fighting games for me. I struggle to see what's unique, I've just played too many of them at this point. Some dude started arm wrestling with a magic shirt, I just fucking lost it at that point. Go under One Piece. Chance of Sinar. Chance of Sinar. This is the best fucking demo in the entire year. Up, all the way up. You learn a language, but by God, this game executes that concept so well. You start with a lever to open a door, you learn open and close and door as words, but then there's a puzzle with these water things, so some are open and others are closed, and then you use those glyphs to figure out what those glyphs mean. And then you start learning more and more as you meet more people and start seeing symbols, and you have to figure out what they mean by using your own context clues to think, okay, which one fits here, or even here. But nothing is set in stone until a set point in the game, where a book comes up and you have to confirm the symbols to progress. But you can fill in guesses, and when people say symbols you've guessed, it's a puzzle game on multiple levels, because then you have the words that are being trying to constructed, but then there's literal puzzles in the game. So you have to figure out what it's telling you to do, and then how to solve it. Through talking to people and seeing the actions, the drawings, or the context of the words, you slowly unravel the language. I could go on forever, but the main takeaway I want to give is that this game did something permanent. Months after playing this game, I was still thinking about how amazing a game of idea this was. And that is the effect a #1 spot demo deserves.
Well, since I just hit the peak of demo gaming, I'll have to speed right through the rest of this list.
Legend Bolts, American Football. For a game that looks like this, the loading times are too long and the gameplay is too complex. Under Space Boat. Box Fills, another puzzle game. Art style's really cool and the puzzles are not. This guy has no water in his hose. I plug the hose back in, turn the valve, and he says nothing. The world f***ing hates me. Go Bob Brock. Colorful Boy. It's just Super Meat Boy. But you know what? It's fine. The momentum is what kills it though. You think with all this sludge Colorful Boy leaves behind and the really slow acceleration that the turning and jumping will be slippery, but there's no following through in the speed, and when jumping onto other platforms, it stinks so you can't guess your momentum. Above Vampire Slayer, Disgaea 7 Vows of the Virtuous. It's an RPG!
Not again!
I am running out of things to say, however, this game kinda looks like Monster Menu, from the way the menus are laid out, and the walking animations look f***ing stupid just like that game, so I'm putting it with its brother. Star Ocean The Second Story R. Space. Skip. I don't know, I'm running into an awful lot of skipping right now, and pixel art characters in high detail words, so it's a lot like a Square Enix thing. A few more skips later and
Motherfucker!
I'm so glad we have more RPGs.
I also just invented sarcasm.
This goes above Live Alive, only because the battle music is good. Kamibako Mythology Cube.
Shouldn't that?
This is a game where you play as the restorer who restores something, I don't know. So I walk around this area for a bit, and guess what happens?
I left the sink on.
Nope, it's not an RPG. You mostly go around exploring the open world, and it's pretty cool. But then you get to the restoring parts as the king makes you do, and what happens? Well, of course, you play a match 3 game. This goes under Airport Hero because I'm confused. Why is it like that? Tokyo Psychodemic is some kind of detective game. The devs clearly put a lot of effort into making real-life video and evidence, and there's even a point where you get to go on the dark web.
I can't believe they did it. They finally made 4chan Simulator.
It's going above Backbeat. I just really like how in-depth the little evidence pieces are. Cross Tales. I'm not playing this one. I'm getting Pearl flashbacks, and that's not a good thing. Sword Art Online, their last recollection. One of the biggest demos I downloaded for this whole deal at 16 whole gigabytes. And what do you get for that? Anime sword fighting with a few hundred cutscenes at the start. Go under Live Alive where you belong. The Gravity Trickster. You gotta get the key and then get to the exit. The controls are really grid-based, and the jump feels completely void of gravity. I'm not saying that because gravity's in the name. I'm saying that because it's so bad it goes below Colorful Boy. Dark Deception. It's super Dark Deception, but in 3D and trying to be horror. Instead of the game being fun, now it's just something I pity. And to be honest, it is a lot worse than Super in a lot of ways. Top-down perspective is at least giving you a little reaction time, but now it's just so cheap, I can't even avoid anything. This goes above Space Boat. Word Space, Hangman with Flowers.
But the questions are randomized.
The nerve of them to randomize the questions so now I can look up a walkthrough. This goes under One Piece. River Pirates Tower Defense.
It is literally all in the name.
It's a very generic tower defense game. Go above word space and think about your actions. Cry Machina. It's another one of those fighter type games. This one's better than Sword Art Online though, but aren't we all? And finally, Mr. Hibble the Lost Levels. This is really generic looking and almost to mobile game levels of bland, and the gameplay is very bland platforming on miserable physics. Go under Legend Bowl.
Well, there you go. That's all the demos from this year. Obviously there's a cutoff point somewhere, but I feel like I got pretty much everything from this year. 11 out of 12 months ain't bad. And also, if you'd like to see my final ranking, then you can ogle right now. Maybe you agree with my opinions, maybe you didn't. If you have a conflicting response that you'd like to send to me, please don't. I'm too busy not giving a shit because I need to cut back on my expenses. I started off by canceling my order of those 15 paper towel rules. I mean, I could use that for something more important. Like 7 smokehouse briskets at Arby's. I called Bounty up yesterday and got the order canceled, so hopefully they saw my message and they can give me my money back as soon as possible. I hate customer service.